Hello, I'm Valerie McLennan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. I hope you're well. This is my spiritual channel, Valerie Mac, Scottish, spiritual, and very funny, allegedly. Now, if you've been following me a while, thank you very much, and I hope you continue to listen. And if you're a new listener, if this is the first time listening, may I ask you to revert back and listen to my previous podcasts, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. Absolute scorcher here today. Blue skies. We know what a scorcher is. I'm just saying. Blue skies, very, very sunny. I know, and just a little while ago, I didn't realise, I wasn't conscious that I was sitting inside the window. Inside a window. The sun's very warm through a window, isn't it? My face feels rather flushed. I knew you would care, just thought I'd share it. Because I'm always saying in this podcast, I've been saying this until I'm blue in the face. Well, quite red in the face, actually. Now, I've only got one funny story. It's not even a story. It's not even a joke. It's just there's a moral in my words. And when I finish this little story joke thing, whatever it is, there is a moral which is going to be leading me into a life lesson like never before. Get your pen. And it's a very important, it could be seen as being very basic life lesson. It's crucial. If you don't actually take this one lesson seriously, it'll affect, it's like a ripple. It affects every entire bit and aspect of your life moving forward. This is the seriousness of it. It sounds basic, as I said, but if you miss this point, as I said, it's like the ripple, it's like the stone, and then you miss it, it'll be like the brick, and then the building will come down on your head. So please get a pen, write this down. If you have to keep listening to this podcast again and again, please take this one life lesson on board because it affects each and every aspect of your life. I promise you that. Now, this little story is about a bloke called Dave. If I know anyone called Dave, I can't think of the top of my head at the moment, who may be listening at least. If your name's called Dave and there's a baker shop that you like, this isn't actually about you. Life isn't all about you. I know, I have to be so careful in case I know someone called Dave that likes a baker. So, was that about me? No, it wasn't. Thank you anyway. He happens to be called Dave. I didn't make the name up. Shush. Anyway, gosh, I have to lay the foundation so well for my story. I know, over-egging my pudding. Now, his name is Dave. Yeah, we gathered that. Now, he's the kind of person who every minor inconvenience is like a Shakespearean tragedy. Oh, I know someone like that, so do I. Now, he was sitting in his house recently and he shares this home with his friend called Sarah. Sarah is obviously very, very used to Dave and his antics. Yes, it is. So she's sitting casually in the kitchen, eating her cornflakes, getting ready for work. And Dave walks into the kitchen, as she said, looking like he had just survived a shipwreck. He's very dramatic, is Dave, yep. And he said, he wailed, he didn't just say, no he didn't, he wailed, oh, it's over, it's all over. He gasped, clutching his phone. I know. Sarah barely looking up from her cornflakes because she knows our Dave and what he's like. She said, what on earth's happened? And Dave said, oh, I've just read on my phone. The bakery shop that I used 3 blocks away is closed for 2 days for renovation. What on earth am I going to do? I know. And Sarah, still trying to glance at her cornflakes, sarcastically. I probably would do this myself. And no, I would definitely do this myself. Glanced up and said, oh, the horror, she said sarcastically. I know. And Dave said, he slid dramatically into his chair, hand on his brow. You don't understand, Sarah. How am I supposed to eat my toast with just standard bread? I only like the bread from that bakery shop down the road. I know. And Sarah's trying to stay with him, said, have you tried walking 4 blocks instead of 3? I know. There's another baker similar to that just on the 4th block. I know. And Dave recoiled as if she had just asked him, would he eat the gravel on the street? I know someone like this. So do I. Anyway. So much for your support, Sarah. I need emotional scaffolding at this time. I know. Dave, she said, I have exactly 3 units of empathy left for today. And your yeast crisis didn't even make my list. I know. Dave said, well, Sarah, I feel betrayed. I thought we were friends. I know, there are people like this. I know. And he said, where is the solidarity? Sarah said, well, it's currently keeping me from caring about your yeast issue. I know. But, Sarah added, if it makes you feel any better, I can offer you a very unsupportive, oh, that's a shame, before I leave the house. Dave said, I'm calling my mother. I'm calling my mother. She will understand the importance of my bread situation. So Sarah shouted back, well, tell her I said hi and ask her if she has any spare empathy, because you have clearly drained me of mine. Now, I said it wasn't a joke, it wasn't a story, but there's a moral in those words. You know, to Dave, that meant everything. He was desperately seeking emotional scaffolding. To Sarah, it was a bit of bread. I know. To Dave, it was a huge issue. Yes, very, very important to Dave. And that's all that mattered. I know. He felt the pain and the betrayal and the lack of support like there was no tomorrow. Sarah was borderline hysterical, just trying to eat her cornflakes. Now the moral is leading me into my life lesson. Have you got a pen? Thank you. A paper. This is where I get serious. Oh, my voice is all high. It's the heat. It's the sun. Did I tell you it was coming through the window? I know. Well, red down one face. You told me already. I know. Just trying to cover. My voice went very high. I don't know why. Neither do I. Now, the moral of the story is, as I keep saying, each and every one of us on planet Earth tends to have a different character, depending on our life situation, depending on our upbringing, depending on a lot of things in life, regarding our emotional level of needing support. You know, so we're all different. She didn't care. She was eating her cornflakes, Sarah. Poor Dave was hysterical. That to him was very, very important. I know. He needed encouragement. Now, each and every one of us are on planet Earth, and we're all very different. Our tank, our emotional tank, is all at a very, very different level. It is. Some of us need a lot of support. But do you know the one thing we have in common? Each and every one of us, tank full or otherwise, or tank half empty, wherever, or rock bottom. We're human beings. We thrive on affection, love, kind words. Anna, if you were to plant a little flower, it's that time of year now, say you were going to plant a little rose or something in a pot, I would hope you wouldn't just stick it in the pot and walk away. Walk away, Renee. Is that a song? Don't know. It is now. You wouldn't just plonk it in the pot and walk off, I hope. You would try and nurture the little plant. You would try and look after the plant. You would water it. Some may even speak kind words over the plant, to help it on its way. The same with a young child. If you had a baby, you wouldn't just stick it in the corner and walk off, I hope. No, you would give encouragement. Where does that stop? That's a question more than a statement. Why is it suddenly we reach adults? And people decide, depending on what's happened in your life, if you're running on your ego. Now, this is something, write this down because this is very, very serious. If you want to know what's causing roadblocks in your life, emotional roadblocks, and traffic cones, imagine you were going up an invisible motorway and you get 10 steps forward. You hear people saying this all the time. For goodness sake, get 5 steps forward in life and 27 back if you're trying to do, making plans in your life, etc. Called emotional roadblocks. Other people can be deliberately blocking you. Sometimes we can be blocking ourselves. The energy that you're giving out may cause other people to deliberately block you. You only have power, get a pen, you only have power over yourself. You have no control over how other people respond, neither do I. You have no power over other people. We've been created with personal responsibility for our lives. We have to make sure Now, you often hear people, even on a spiritual path, I hear spiritual teachers galore. I would just call them spiritual teachers because they're, I don't focus on one particular religion, just spirituality in general. You hear people saying when they're teaching or whatever, look within. Some people, when they're on this path and they're teaching it, they don't look within themselves. Now, it's easy to say the words. If you're finding emotional roadblocks, whether you're in the business world, whether you're in your house, whether you're teaching this or otherwise or just listening, you've got to look within yourself and think, what's causing the roadblocks? What's causing people maybe to deliberately block me? It's an energy-filled world, and human beings can pick up, whatever you're radiating out, other people can pick up, subconsciously or consciously. You've got to be very careful as a human being, especially if you're teaching spiritual anything. If you are finding roadblocks in your way, you've got to, I would suggest, look within yourself and make sure you're not making your decisions from your ego, or just to win, or just to get the upper hand, or just to make sure that you get the outcome you want, because you will find roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Do you think a universe or a creator doesn't have the power to move your roadblocks if they feel that you're doing and making decisions from the best place in your heart? Where we find roadblocks, in my opinion, is where we're not, maybe, especially if you're working with other people. I have the luxury of being my own boss. In the spiritual stuff that I teach, I decide what I'm talking about. I talk to myself and say, do you think that's for the best? Yes. And I can give myself the go-ahead and I can say, on you go. Now, that's a freedom that is pretty unique, unless you're on this path, but many, many people, especially depending what banner you're under, have to pass it through boards and committees and other people. They might have the best intention, they might have the best ideas, but they've got to go through many, many other steps prior to saying, yes, I can go ahead. I'm in a different kind of, I have the freedom because I do this independently on my own. I have the choice. I decide what I want to talk about. I decide what I want to do with it. I decide where it's going to go. And I can make that decision. But at the end of the day, it's down to personal responsibility. Whatever way it goes, positive or negative, I then have to take the success or otherwise. I reap what I sow. I make sure, and this is the whole crux of what I'm trying to tell you. When I make a decision, especially if it's regarding other people, because all the words I'm speaking is to encourage other people to look at this or to do something. The last thing, and I've said this until I'm blue in my face, I'm not here to drag people kicking and screaming. I'm not here to really encourage dramatically. I'm here just to speak the words that I know and to let you know what's helped me and to let you know what helps me today. And my mind, my body, spirit level, when it comes to challenges in my life, what I've used, and I give that out to you. What you do with it's up to you. I can't force anyone, I wouldn't want to. But there are many people that take it on board, and then that's where I know, because it moves swiftly on. The energy leaves me, and if I can see that it's been received well and people are using it, over the years, I know I'm on the right path. Especially if people are gaining, if people are benefiting from my words, and if I can see that it's moving and I'm getting the feedback that I like and the people are responding and it's working for them, I know the universe and the creator believes that I'm doing this in the best way because they're moving any roadblocks out of my way and I'm being able to move with it. If I find roadblocks or if there's something there, I would have to look within myself and think, what on earth? There's something in what I'm doing. The words aren't just flowing. This is all we can do in life. We're all responsible for our own words. We have to, whether you're in the business world, a human being, or anybody in life, if you're finding roadblocks in your own way, and the only power you have and the only authority you have is over yourself. You have to look within yourself, and if you're working with other people, each and every one of you have to look within yourself and think, right, where are the roadblocks? What's happening? What's stopping? Why? Because very seldom do people just do things out of spite. Very genuinely. There's a reason. Is there something in the past? Is there something, are people radiating off something else? Are they picking up something else? And I would suggest the best way to do it is for the people involved is to look within yourself. Make sure you're not running from an ego, making decisions from an ego. There's people on this path who teach, who have been on this path for a long, long time, who I've met over the years, and it tends to be my way or the highway. Best out of three. I'll ask it again till I get the answer I want. I'll ask it again until I get the answer I want. You will have roadblocks from here until eternity if that's the way that you work. My way, highway, sticking, no. You've got to do it I did it my way. No. If it's not for the best of everyone, if it's not for the best of people, you will hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. As I said, do you think the Creator in the universe doesn't have the power to move those roadblocks? If they're there, you've got to look within yourself. It's not just a saying for the fridge. If you look within yourself, look in your mind and heart. Many, many people find it easy to criticise but not give a compliment. Many characters I meet in life, if you reach out to one person, if you reach once, I'll reach back. But the mirror, what you're doing, that's not genuine. You should be able to offer, encouragement, support, and not have to fight your ego to do it. If you find it difficult, if you're listening to any spiritual speaker I'm doing that myself, I'm on here. If you're finding it difficult to say to someone or to say to people, I enjoy what you say. I gain from what you're speaking. I'm benefiting from your words. I find them helpful. I find them funny. I find it's helping me in my life. Now, I'll turn that round. If that was me and I was listening and I knew, and if I listened to within myself and I thought, I am struggling to tell that person that I'm enjoying it, I would be kind of concerned for me, because I'd be thinking, I'm blocking other aspects of my life. If I'm blocking my energy to that level, that I can't give anyone support, I can't give a kind word, and I can't say to someone that's doing their best for the spiritual path that I'm enjoying it, and I can't get a compliment, and I can't get it past there, you're blocking other aspects of your life. That means that your ego is more powerful than your inner world. So it's not just, if you find it's a struggle to compliment, encourage, anything, support, I would guarantee you're blocking other aspects of your life, because that's your character. So there are many people, even on the spiritual path, sadly, who is their way. It's one way. You've got to kind of give, but they won't give back. This is where the blockages are coming in life. We're all on this path. We're all supposed to be helping each other. It's not one-way traffic. It's not just you give, we give nothing. You give, I'm giving nothing. If you give an inch, I'll give an inch back. If you're measuring your kindness, or if you're measuring this emotional support you're giving a human being, that's the answer to your blockages. That is the answer to why you're stuck in your life on many, many levels. If the doors aren't opening, if people aren't warming to your words, if people aren't taking to the words, if you're just trying, it's your way or the highway, if you're restricted, if your ego won't allow you to compliment, but you will criticise until the cows come home, you are blocking the energy in your own life and in your own world. So many aspects of your life will be stuck. This is what I said at the beginning. This sounds very, very basic, but can you not see at that basic level the impact that has on every person you're going to meet in your life, every relationship you're going to have, every person you'll come in contact with, in the business world, in your personal, anywhere? You're blocking everything because you're measuring within yourself. You won't give a compliment. If you can't compliment, you can't support, you can't encourage, there's something stopping you. You need to look at why you're finding the blockage there. Some people, it would be something ridiculous. I never got a compliment when I was growing up. Who cares? This is today. Many of us didn't get compliments growing up. If you're that's one of the very, very first things you do in this path. You've got to try and release that there. Other people, as I said, they throw out the stubborn. I've been told I was stubborn again until I'm blue in the face of, people that were quite close to me. You're stubborn. You have to be stubborn in this path. If you're not stubborn when you're teaching this, when are you going to be stubborn? If I wasn't stubborn and really determined, the other word for that is, I don't like the word stubborn, but if you're determined that you're on this path, and if you're determined enough that you have got to really hold tight to your beliefs, If I wasn't determined, or if you want to say stubborn, I would be wavering off this path every day of my life. Because someone would say something, I'd go, oh, right, okay, and I'd kind of waver over there, and I'd waver away. You have got to be stubborn within an inch of your life to keep on this path. I don't take that it was meant as an insult, but I don't take it as an insult. I take it as a compliment. It can be annoying for other people because it means that you won't move. You're determined that you're sticking to your path. If other people don't want you there, it can become, you can imagine how irritating it is if other people are just trying to kind of, throw the thing, whatever, and you're not biting. You're kind of sticking, get sick. What you often find in life is people who call you stubborn. If you look around you, it's like a comedy. They're more stubborn than anyone in the place, thing. If you can throw out if you can throw out insults, you can also throw out compliments. It's the same mouth. You're just choosing the words that you give. Now, the point being, people, as I said, I have the luxury, and I will use that word, I have the luxury. I decide what I'm doing in this path. I decide how I'll move it forward. I decide when I'm moving it forward, and I have no blocks. I can move, and I'm as free as a bird. I can do that, and that's the way in the life that I like to be. I like the flexibility. I like the kind of that's why I chose this kind of life years ago, and I chose to be on this path where I'm not answerable, and I don't have to run every thought I have in my head past other people to get the go-ahead. I like the authority that I can choose what I'm doing. I can choose every part of my life. I can decide what I'm doing, and I can, and I can say to myself, yes, indeed. And it's actually a luxury, and it's a freedom. I look at many other people in this path. They don't have that flexibility. They've got to depend on other people. They've got to depend on meetings. They've got to depend on other human beings being on the same page, the exact same mindset, the exact same thought. And I'll repeat it again. Look within yourself. If you're finding many, many roadblocks, the wrong way around to do it is to look at other people and think they are the problem, and I will move them highway, I was going to say, one way or another, I will make them change their mind. You won't make other human beings change their mind any more than I will in this channel. I don't want to. I want to encourage. What you do then is you look within yourself and think, am I doing this by the ego? Or am I trying to cause, this is critical, am I trying to cause change for the best of everyone? Or the best of myself, or the best of the few? People, human beings, whatever age they are in their life, are the person they are today for whatever experiences that they've had in their life, whatever's happened to them in their life. Again, as I keep saying, we all meet all different characters. I'm no different. I meet all the same characters as you in my life. I don't try and manoeuvre people who don't want to be manoeuvred. You won't work it that way. Other people have got to look at you and think, I really want whatever that they have that's giving them that kind of peace, or whatever it is that they have within themselves, I want that as well. That's a basic way of doing it. If people are stressed out their head, anxious, if people can look at the way you're teaching it, think I would like to be more like that, that's a compliment in itself. As I keep saying, just because we're teaching this on this earth, it doesn't mean that we're not facing challenges galore on a daily basis. It's just that we're manoeuvring. I can manoeuvre over them now. I've come off my path many times over the years caused by other human beings. This is where the determination and the stubbornness comes in. You don't allow it. You do not allow other people to have that negative power or impact in your life. It's like being an athlete and you're going over the hurdles one by one. Spiritual path or ordinary path, whatever you want to call it, we'll all have those invisible kind of hurdles, challenges. It's how we get over them. And the way I would say it, on this path, you learn to train your mind into a way, I'm no different to you. I'll have the exact same. If you imagine you're standing beside me and we've both got a line of hurdles ahead of us, I'll be the same as you. I'll have the same challenge, similar types of challenges to you. You're standing there, you've got all your hurdles, so have I. It's how we're going to get over them. When you're on this path, you train your mind, and when you get over one hurdle, you know how to move yourself forward. So you're then at hurdle 2. And then you know how to manoeuvre yourself over. You're then on hurdle 3. You're standing beside me. You're jumping over hurdle 1. if you're not on this path, some people cling on to hurdle 1 and they won't let it go. So they're carrying hurdle 1 with them over hurdle 2. And then for hurdle 3, they're carrying hurdle 1, hurdle 2, and lifting that over hurdle 3. They're not letting it go. So imagine the weight by the time you've reached hurdle 5. We're both at hurdle 5. I've had the same challenges as you, but I'm letting them all release one by one. I faced it, it's gone. Faced it, it's gone. Faced it, it's gone. This isn't easy. I've had to learn this over the years. As I said, I've slid off many times through other people. No longer. So we're both at those challenges. I'm jumping over hurdle 1. Well, maybe not jumping, but over hurdle 1, casually. Challenging as it may be, I'll then think, right, I've done it, I've faced it, and I'm on. And I move over 2 and 3. As I keep saying, you're beside me, same life experiences. You're carrying number 1. You won't let hurdle 1 go. You're carrying that with you over hurdle 2. Then your hurdle 1 and 2 is in your hand as you're trying to climb over number 3. And you keep carrying the past with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're trying, and you're thinking, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. This is why you're not releasing all of them as you're going. You're carrying the whole thing with you, and we're both at the same hurdles, and you're still carrying all of that. That's a simple way of looking at it. I'm on the same path, same challenges, but I've trained my mind, and I now know how when I'm going through it, I let that challenge is done, and I'm moving forward. That challenge is done, I'm moving. I have no intentions of carrying hurdle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my back as I reach the other ones. Each hurdle is bad enough, it's painful enough, it's emotionally distressing enough. I'm not carrying all those hurdles from the past on my back as I walk forward. When I reach the end of my life on earth, I want to face that last challenge and that last hurdle on its own and step forward, and that'll be it. I have no intentions of reaching that last hurdle and looking back and thinking, for goodness sake, I've got 546 hurdles carried with me. I've not let any of them go. I've carried the whole thing and wondered why I'm worn out, wondered why I'm exhausted, wondered why my health is affected, wondered why my head, stressed out my head, wondered why I feel exhausted at whatever o'clock in the day. That's a simple way of looking at it. When I reach the last hurdle in life, I'm going to look back and I won't be carrying all of those other hurdles with me. And this is what this path gives you. That's a very descriptive kind of picture of how it is on the spiritual path. There's nothing fluffy about it. You have to be stubborn. You have to be determined. But each and every effort you make on this path is worth it. Otherwise, where are you going to buy it in a shop? No idea. And if I look at you, you're in the same thing, but you've not trained your mind. You're not doing anything. And you're just trying to drag all those hurdles with you as you're going through your life. That's as simple as I can make it. If you're on this path and you're getting, challenge galore, all these kind of things, blockages, invisible traffic cones, look within yourself. Make sure you're not making your decisions from a team of people, from an ego, determined that you're going to win. You're going to be the one that's going to sort those, and you're just going to drag people kicking and screaming. It won't work. And what will happen is the momentum against you will keep building up, because the universe and the creator, that only works through an energy that's flowing. When you see things flowing properly, you know in your life that you're doing things yourself properly from within yourselves. Until those blockages disperse, you've got to look within yourself and think there's something we're doing that's causing people to get their back up. They're not buying us, they're not buying into us, and the danger is that might increase going forward. We've only got the power to look after number 1. Look within yourself. As I said, I've no control over how other people react to me. I've no control over how they respond. I just know that I do all the work within myself, and I know every word I'm saying, my intentions are for the best, and that tends to give you a kind of free run. You don't get those blockages. So, that said, if you could find a compliment in your heart, if you could find something nice to say about my channel, start there. Use me as your project. And if you're still sitting there saying, I can't, well, what more can I say? Thank you very much. Look after each other. I'll be back on next week sometime. Take care for now. Bye-bye.